Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Listen podcast. Hope you guys are having a great day. My guest today is a MuchMusic VJ that has been able to meet, interview, and work with some of the biggest celebrities in the world. She's also played a huge role in getting the MuchMusic TikTok page to over 4.5 million followers, not to mention YouTube, Instagram, all that. Also a friend of mine, Georgia Kolev. How are you doing?
I'm so good. I'm so happy. It's so nice to see you. Like, when was the last time I feel like
I think
we saw each other with school?
Yeah, pre-COVID.
Stop.
Yeah, there was one time you saw me. I think you were driving home from work on Richmond, and I was walking down the street, and you stopped for like a second.
I'm
We
like,
just said hi quick.
Jesse.
Yeah.
I remember that. Wow, it's been a while. I'm
So-
so happy to be here.
Are you nervous?
Yeah, fuck, I am nervous.
It's interesting because you normally are on the other side,
I'm in
but you're
control of the
interviewing like
interviews.
A-list celebrities, so this is nothing.
You're right. You're my friend. But you know what? You're an A-list celebrity at this point. You've boomed yourself. See, I'm trying to me turning the tables around. I'm gonna let you take this.
I consider myself like a Z-list celebrity.
No, but you're doing so well. I'm so proud of
Thank
everything
you.
you're doing.
Thank you so much.
For real.
So for those of you guys that don't know, Monica, sorry, not Monica, I'm thinking about my girlfriend.
I get it. Yo,
for those of you
Monica, shout out.
Exactly, shout out Monica. For those of you that don't know, Georgia and I we went to the same university together. We are former classmates studying sport media. Do you still have any interest in doing anything with sports, or do you think you've kind of found your calling with MuchMusic?
I definitely feel like, especially, fourth year, we do do I look in this camera too? Or it doesn't matter.
Whatever
This
camera
one.
you want.
So obviously in our fourth year, we do an internship and stuff like that. So I specifically chose to deviate, and I did an internship with BlogTO because I don't know, I just wasn't, I was such an athletic and sporty person growing up. I did competitive gymnastics literally my whole life. It was everything. So I just wasn't sure. I thought I wanted to go into sport broadcasting, and not that I didn't like it. I loved the program and everything, but I think that just entertainment in general, I think, was more my calling. So I think I found my shtick more with MuchMusic, but I'm always open to sports stuff. The two worlds always cross over and collide, even at work. I'm being sent to sporting events sometimes to cover the entertainment side of it, but those two worlds bleed together. And my boss manages the TSN and the bar down guys. So I work closely with the sports side as well.
Yeah, I think it's tough. One of the things we were told early on, I don't know if you remember this, but when we started sport media is if you want a job in sports, you're losing your weekends, you're losing your nights, you're losing your holidays. And in the moment, we were young, we were 18 years old, and I was like, oh, screw that, I'm fine. You can take my weekends, you can take all that. I wanna work in sports. And now, 26 years old, I'm like, you're not taking my weekends, you're not taking my nights. So I feel honestly, what both of us do is kind of perfect because you not necessarily have your own schedule,
Yeah.
but you don't have to work nights. It's a lot of editing and prep and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you kind of know what your schedule is gonna look
Yeah.
like.
I do. My schedule comes in every couple weeks. Someone updates it, so it's not the same. But I actually do work nights sometimes, but it's not every week.
Yeah.
So I work in the office half. I'll come into the office 2 or 3 times a week, and then I'll work from home 2 or 3 times a week based on whatever the split is that week. And when we work from home, it's a night shift. But again, you're working from home, so it's not as it's not I'm commuting downtown and working till midnight here in the office and then going home and driving and all that. So the night shifts are pretty calm.
Yeah. I guess for you, from the outside looking in, people would just assume that your job is interviewing celebrities and being in front of the camera. So what is, you working from home or
Yeah.
obviously this isn't what you do every single
Yes,
day.
yes.
What does the day-to-day look like for you?
Okay, yeah, good question. Yeah, people people see what's in front of the camera, but we do a lot behind as well. Obviously, we have some very skilled editors that help us out with the bigger productions and stuff like that when it's a really big artist or one of our bigger productions that we put together. But on a day-to-day, just regular interviews that we're doing in the studio, we're editing those most of the time. We're reacting to music news at all hours. So for instance, today, I didn't have an interview or anything today, but we're up to date. We're posting pretty much hourly on socials, checking news, looking at fun clips to reshare, making our own original content, following trends and stuff like that. I'm editing during the day, editing my own interviews. We're going to concerts, events, so filming vlogs, and then when we're in the office, editing those vlogs, making thumbnails, graphics, all that stuff. So, and then at the same time, just being on the hunt for news. If something drops, if an album drops, if there's some breaking news about Beyonce or something, we're on it. You got to make a graphic post, make a TikTok video, react to it. So it's a lot of kind of on the ball stuff mixed with just editing our own work that we've been doing.
How did this like opportunity present itself to you? Like how did you get this job?
Yeah. So back to fourth year school, applied for an internship at the end of our semester, which we had to do. I interned at BlogTO for that duration. It was really great experience. I loved it. I'm a big foodie, so it was like fun to kind of step into that world and get some experience because they're obviously a very well-established brand. I really liked it from the get-go, and I followed it myself. So yeah, I interned at BlogTO. It was a lot of fun, and literally right as the school year was ending, I got a random DM, and this was around the time like I was like, okay, like what am I gonna do after the internship? Am I gonna try to stay wherever, get a new job, whatever? I don't know what I'm gonna look for if I'm gonna try to stay with BlogTO. And then I got a random DM from a girl who worked at TSN. Her name is Jordan, and I just get this random message. She's like, "Hey, honestly, I think I probably still have it. Let me just read it," because I was like, "Is this spam? Like, I'm about to. I don't even know who this is." Hold on.
That's so interesting. Just like a random message, and now it's like.
No, seriously, I want to read it to you because it's just like random. I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, what is this?" Okay, it's not loading. But basically, since she worked for TSN, I look at her account and it's like TSN bar down. And then she's like, "Oh, we're hoping to revive MuchMusic. Like, just wanted to see if you'd be willing to hop on a call, like, you know, just to get to know you, whatever." And I'm like, "Okay, weird. Like, your Instagram's all sports stuff." And I thought I was going to get, like, a job opportunity for sports. And then I was like, sure. We did a quick call. It was just, like, a vibe check, really. She's like, "Okay, I just wanted to make sure you're not, like, weird or anything. I'm going to pass you over to my boss, you know?" And I was like, "Okay, great." I chatted with my boss, who's my boss now. And yeah, he was just basically explaining the model that he made for Bar Down. I'm sure you know and follow it, but he was thinking, why not? You know, MuchMusic's kind of been out of the picture for a while since transitioning off of television and it ending and all of that. He was like, why couldn't we just bring it back and do the same thing, kind of with the same model that we're doing with Bar Down, like kind of the digital creator side of things. So that's what he did. They basically found us online. So my internship at BlogTO really like helped put my face out there. He was like asking me about BlogTO. "Oh, what are you like doing?" And I'm saying I'm in school, all of that stuff. So literally it just came from my BlogTO internship, which I'm very grateful for both. So yeah.
That's amazing. I feel like that's so. It's very different than like a traditional.
Media.
Yeah. You talked about the revival of MuchMusic,
Yes.
and like anyone from like our generation grew up with MuchMusic.
Yeah.
Did you feel kind of when you heard that it was coming back any kind of pressure from, you know, like how big it was for us in our generation to kind of bring that to the next generation?
Yes and no, because I'm like, just thinking of like what it was back then. You know, this whole like it was just an era in itself.
I remember seeing all the thing I remember most from MuchMusic is or watching like music videos and having like comedians like react to it. Yeah.
And the VJs themselves were obviously like, it was different because that traditional media outlets back then didn't really kind of do the one-off like spunky fun like they weren't like traditional conservative like media brands, so they were always doing something different, and I think that's what like pushed them forward and made them so unique and so lovable. So yeah, I think it did put a bit of pressure just because I'm like, okay, like do I really need to like dive back into the history? Like what do I need to do? But at the end of the day, like we're like honoring what it was, but also it's not meant for the same generation that MuchMusic was back then. It is different. People we get in the comments, especially in the beginning, being like, "Oh, well, this isn't the same." And it's like, yeah, it's not meant to be the same because this generation has no, like the younger ones have no clue. We're even on the cusp of like, we were really young when MuchMusic was like in its prime. So people who are younger than us, they have no idea what that's about. Gen Z and below, like they don't have any experience of that. So obviously everything's digital now. You have YouTube. You're not reacting to a music. You don't have to wait for the TV to show you a music video anymore. You go on YouTube, you type in the music video and you watch it. You stream it, Spotify, Apple Music. So it's different now. Like we're reacting to YouTube videos. We're doing all that sorts of stuff. And yeah, like interviews and stuff like that, doing from our studio. But same thing, like everything is just going digital. Like it's not on a television channel anymore.
Yeah. You talk about interviews, and I know specifically you have interviewed tons of when I say A-list, I mean A-list celebrities. I'm curious, who has been the
Oh.
nicest celebrity you have interviewed?
I'm trying to think.
'Cause I know you've done, like, I mean, you were just at the Olivia Rodrigo
Yes.
event. I know you've talked with Timothée Chalamet. You
Yeah.
talked with Ryan Gosling.
That was the Timothy Chalamet one was exciting for me because like I have a crush on him. And I'm like trying to keep my cool. He was very sweet.
Yeah.
I've interviewed Niall Horan. He was really really nice. Like just super down to earth, genuine. A lot of them are humble. Like a
Really?
lot of them just feel like it's funny because when we interview them, but then we also go to their concerts, and it's like when I'm at their concerts, when they're on the stage and it's like this like spotlight superstardom, I'm like, damn, these people are like, they're like untouchable. Like you can't just see them on the street. Like
Yeah.
it's not that kind of thing. Like they're a different level of person and different energy and whatever. But then when you meet them, just like when you're greeted to them like on that level one-on-one, it's not as intimidating as like, okay, you see them and it's like, oh my God, like I'm like looking up to this person. Not that I'm not like I admire every single one of them, but I just mean it's like different when you kind of meet them knowing, they're here to promote their stuff. You're also here to do a job and just to like to get it, like to just dive into their music and also help them promote their stuff, right? And just talk about their stuff. That's what they're there for. So I feel like in the moment you'd think it's like super nerve-wracking, but I feel like again when you're kind of just know that you're there to set out to do a job, it's not as scary as you would think. But yeah, I think Niall Horan was really nice. Tate McRae, she's blowing up.
Yeah, she's blowing. I saw NHL All-Star game,
Yeah.
right? And like, she's honestly, I didn't really know who she was like 6 months ago, and now it's
Yep.
like I see her everywhere.
We've done 2 interviews with her. I did one, and then my coworker Teddy did one recently. But like the one that I did with her was approaching on 2 years ago.
Really?
So I'm like looking at her now, being like, wow.
It's almost like that, that Billie Eilish video where she's
Yes.
like, today is whatever year,
she
and it's like every
keeps
year she just keeps
reacting.
blowing up. Yeah, that's crazy. So, Niall Horan's up there. Are you Directioner? Is that what they're called? No, Directioner? Is that what
Is
they're
it?
called?
Yo, see,
I don't remember.
Yeah. I never was like a traditional like. To be honest with you, I was never a huge like boy band, girl band like fangirl. Like I love my like artists and stuff like that, and I did like One Direction, but I wouldn't say like had an obsession and like knew everything about them. So I think when I found out that Niall was like making music and that I'd be interviewing him, I'm like, wow, like I understood the scope of what it was, and I'm
Yeah.
like, this is crazy.
I feel like we missed the boat on the boy bands though, because I feel like
Yeah.
Backstreet Boys and NSYNC were a little bit past their, just a
Yes.
little, like they were still around,
Yes.
I think,
Yeah.
but
We were young.
not during the prime.
Yeah, not during the prime. I agree.
Yeah.
And then by the time it was like, how old were we when like One Direction and stuff was blowing up? Fifth
I
Harmony.
I think grade or 'cause
Elementary
we're
school.
You're 99.
Yeah, I'm a 99.
So I think probably when you were in like grade 7 and 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember like the first time I heard of them was like this, like I just heard this like
X
British boy
Factor.
band was opening for Big Time Rush.
Right. And they're still around.
Yeah, they're still around. But I heard Big Time Rush got asked to open for One Direction like years
Yes.
ago, and their ego was like too big. They didn't want to open for them because
Oh,
now
really?
the tables have turned.
Yeah.
But it's crazy that they were opening for. I mean, I don't know. I don't think Big Time Rush was ever that big. Definitely not
Yeah.
on One Direction's level.
I remember the show.
Yeah.
And then recently when they started coming back around, I'm like, all these people that I knew are like, yeah, I'm going to Big Time Rush. I'm like, really? I didn't know that they were like,
I thought it was
didn't know
just
them
the
like
show.
that.
Yeah.
Same.
Like
I
kind of
thought
like
it was a
Hannah
show.
Montana. I didn't know
Exactly.
that like.
I know, it's like Hannah Montana going on tour.
Did Miley ever like? Did she actually like perform as Hannah Montana?
Pretty sure as a kid. Yeah. Miley Cyrus did. I think that she did like, yeah, her Hannah Montana version of like shows.
Really?
Yeah, almost positive.
That
'Cause,
was
like,
a good show growing
unless
up.
it was just like more like for Disney stuff. Like remember how back in the day, even like Jonas Brothers, like they performed and they were performing as the Jonas Brothers, and everyone knew them off of Disney. So I think in the same way how Hannah
Everyone used to
Miley.
be able to sing. Like Raven, when she was
Yeah.
on, like That's Alright. She has a good voice.
Yes, she does.
Selena Gomez.
Selena Gomez.
Lizzie, I feel like even what's her Hillary Duff. I feel like she's
Yes,
yeah,
she
she
was.
sang yeah,
She
yeah.
was.
Let the rain fall.
Fall
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so every celebrity for the most part has been very nice.
Yes.
You said you don't really get nervous once the job
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
starts. Is there any celebrity that's made you like super starstruck?
Ooh.
Or was it Timothy Chalamet just because you have a crush on him.
Yeah, probably Timothy Chalamet. Because like even when I was waiting, I'm like watching him, and this one was specifically a red carpet. It was at the Wonka premiere in Toronto. So like I was kind of down the line, and I'm like watching him like make his way closer. I'm like, okay. So maybe that one. You know what? Actually, the Ryan Gosling one maybe a little bit because I think the people who are kind of in their prime right now are kind of close in proximity to our age. So in a way, it kind of comforts me just knowing, okay, like there's a lot you can kind of relate to this person. And
how old's Timothy?
He's in his 20s.
Okay,
He's older than me.
So like late
years.
20s.
Yeah. But like everything from, like Olivia Rodrigo, Timothy Chalamet, like they're all kind of in the same span, even like the early 30s. But I was kind of nervous for the Barbie one just because I'm like interviewing Ryan Gosling, who again, I don't know if the older ones are kind of not used to, I don't know, like it's easier to kind of like not make fun, sorry, but like do fun things with the younger ones, do Gen Z type of shit. But
I don't know, I feel like every clip I've ever seen of Ryan Gosling, he's been an absolute gem. Like he seems like the nicest, even like when he wins awards and he's like hyping up his wife and like he just seems like the nicest dude. Yeah,
he was nice. He came on the carpet with his sister. They were both super sweet. Simu Liu did that carpet as well. He was super nice. But yeah, that one just because I was like, damn, like Ryan Gosling, this guy's got stuff under his belt, obviously.
Absolutely.
He's Canadian. He's an icon. So, yeah.
Who's been the most like surprising celebrity you met? Anyone that's like kind of different than what you expected them to be like, or either quieter, more open?
Let me think.
I'm putting you on the spot.
I know, no, I'm just trying to think. And also because even just like on a weekly basis, we do so many interviews, even just like with smaller artists and stuff like that. Ooh, I'm trying to think. I don't know if it was not that I did or didn't expect, but I did an interview with Noah Cyrus.
Okay.
So that one, like, I like her music, obviously. Like, I know Miley Cyrus, but hers was nice because she was just very excited about Tim Hortons, and I just like didn't expect somebody to be so excited about Tim Hortons. So I like surprised her with her favorite donut, and that was really fun. She like lit up when we did that for her. A lot of artists, you'd be surprised, get like geek out over Canadian snacks and stuff like that. Like we did Renee Rapp, and like she was coming off of her show, so the next day she was pretty tired. Energy was still great, but like obviously you could tell like she just came off of a show the night before, and
of course.
Yeah, they're busy. Obviously, they stay up all night and whatnot. So yeah, same thing. We brought out some snacks, and she just lit up at right at the thought of that. So that's always fun.
Yeah,
when you can catch them off with something that
it's
you wouldn't
dope
know.
When they're down to play along.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Okay, so my last question for like celebrities.
Yeah.
Do you have like a dream person you want to? Who is it?
Yes,
let me
guess.
It's a singer or Beyonce?
I mean, fuck. I love it, but wasn't what was on my mind. But yeah, I'll take Beyonce, but no.
Who is it?
It's Dua Lipa.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one.
I love her.
Yeah.
I've liked her since the start, genuinely. Like, I kind of followed her career from the beginning, and now that she's just, I don't know, I love how just classy she is. I love her fashion. I just love all her music. And I love, like, dance pop music, so she's under that umbrella for sure. So, I don't know. I definitely want to do that. She is coming out with a new album in May, so maybe fingers crossed. We'll see.
Yeah, so
I've been trying to do that, like trying to pursue that.
How does that work? So say she drops an album, and let's say she's like, do you guys reach out to her immediately, or is it like, oh, if she's doing a show in Toronto, you know she's gonna be here, then your group reaches out to her group, you know?
It's a little bit of a mix. Like we do have connections and with the labels, so like there's like Warner, Universal, Sony, etc. So obviously those labels all come with us with multiple artists. Like we see the same people all the time. They just bring different artists. So like we're in touch with them. Sometimes they reach out to us and say, look, this person's doing promo. Like, let's see if we can work something out. Sometimes we have to reach out because they're not necessarily seeking out. Some celebrities aren't doing press all the time. They don't want to, or maybe they don't even need press. Mm-hmm. Like some of them are just big enough to not
Beyonce.
Even... Exactly. Do you see Beyonce doing interviews? Not really. But the one-off ones you'll get once in a while. Just like even like the Niall Horan one was pretty surprising. Like one-off of that. But yeah, so sometimes it's kind of a mix. We have to reach out. Other times, yeah, they're performing. We see, okay, and we have like a list of concerts that are happening literally for the whole year, and we'll look ahead and we'll be like, and we'll reach out. We'll be like, hey, we see so-and-so is in town, May, June. Let us know if we can work something out. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't.
Do you work with kind of anyone else like in Bell Media outside of like the MuchMusic team?
Yeah, I mean, we collab a lot with the TSN and Bar Down team.
Because I saw Jesse, not me, Jesse
Pollock.
I saw him a couple days ago at it was like an advanced screening for Godzilla versus King Kong.
Right.
And I saw him. He's always been so nice every time I've met him.
Yeah, he's a gem. Yeah, they work in our, like, we share the space in the office. They also work in Scarborough. They have an office in Agincourt, but yeah, we do share the space. So they come in. He was in the office today. They film some of their podcast stuff. We have a podcast room there as well. So sometimes we're in there, sometimes they're in there. And yeah, they're super fun to work with. We work with them pretty closely just because, again, like, our boss is the same boss. But with others in the building, like, sometimes when we're promoting one of our big productions or interviews, sometimes we'll get invited onto like the Your Morning Show or like CP24, and it's all in the same building. But yeah, like we walk around and we've met and are pretty we're friends and cordial with like the E-Talk people, the iHeartRadio, like Virgin Radio team. So everyone, like, we kind of know, but just because we're actually not in the main section of the building, we're like the one right across on the other side of the parking lot. So we're a little bit isolated on the island, but yeah.
Interesting. Do you still get nervous at all? Like, say for example, like any kind of like morning television shows or anything. Like, do you still get nervous being on TV? Because I feel like for me, no matter what, TV just feels so different than social media. Like, I can post a video on TikTok or Instagram and it can get 1 million views. Yep. And that would probably be a lot more people. Exactly. Like, there'd be a lot more people seeing this one TikTok than my clip on TV. Yeah. But something about being on TV is just nerve-wracking.
It's just too legit, okay? Because like I feel like we're used to, our generation especially, just starting off our careers and even in school, like, a lot of it is just social media and content creation, and you're kind of in the comfort zone of your own space. You can take a few takes. It's not live. You're not under this pressure. But then even for, again, like a 5-minute hit, I'll be with me and my coworker and I'm stressed. They're like 5, 4. I'm like, okay,
and you're doing them live.
Supposed to look? Yeah, it's live.
Yeah.
But it's fine. Like, but it's very legit. Like, when they talk and they're just so like proper and how they speak. And I'm like, yes. I'm like, hands folded. But no, I think it's just something definitely that I overthink in the moment too.
Do you feel like our program prepared you at all for that? I mean, we got a lot of like,
I think
not
so.
live TV, but like,
I think so.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, both on the technical side, on the camera, like on air side, I think it really did. Even the fact that I swayed and like branched off a little bit into the entertainment side, it's still the same stuff. Mm-hmm. Same programs that we're learning.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Like, do you think that it prepared you or not so much?
I think so, yeah. Like, since we graduated, like, I've worked with TSN, I've worked with Sportsnet, and I've had good experiences with both of them, and I've had, I feel like a lot of things that I've done have given me I've just like strengths and things I've learned for the future, and I haven't like crossed out a potential like going back to sports. Like, I love sports. I could definitely see myself making that my full-time career, because I don't know how long TikTok or Instagram, any of this stuff is going to last.
Every other week, they're like, TikTok's banned. I'm like, fuck.
Exactly. So I have no idea. But I don't know. I feel like with sports, I feel like the sports industry is slowly starting to understand that social media, much like MuchMusic, much like Bar Down, is the future. Like, you guys, repost interesting content, but also make your own original content. And I feel like that's the future. And I get, TV and, broadcast rights is kind of where the money is right now. But, is that going to be where the money is in 10 years, 20 years?
Over,
you know what I mean?
For sure. I also think even back to just like sports and entertainment in general, like, I feel like there's a lot of pressure on sports. Yeah. If that makes sense. And like, obviously you can do the fun stuff on social media, but I feel like just in general as an industry, I'm like, like, I feel like there's more leeway with stuff in entertainment versus sports. Like,
I feel like because with
sports, you can't
sports,
mess things up.
Yeah, it's because it's live, and like when it comes to TV, I feel like sports is the one thing that's keeping TV alive. Because people don't want to watch. I don't want to watch the Lakers Raptors game today when it was yesterday. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But with
shows, you can stream and save it for tomorrow. Who cares?
Exactly.
Sports, you need to watch in the moment.
Exactly. So it's definitely tougher. But I think no matter what industry, music, sports, whatever, like social media is the future. 100%.
I agree.
I wanted to ask, what do you think of the current state of music right now?
Ooh.
Do you feel like we're in good hands? Because I'll be completely honest with you.
Yeah, you tell me first what you think. Because I'm like oversaturated with it every day, so I think I kind of might. I'd like to hear your opinion first.
I'll be honest. It's tough for me because I love music, but I don't necessarily care about the music industry. And what I mean by that is I don't care what dress Tate McRae wore to the whatever.
It's fair.
I don't care who had a kid with who, or I just like the music. But I know there are a lot of people.
Yes.
I would say the majority of people, like my girlfriend Monica, for example, she knows everything that's going on, especially Beyonce. That's why I said Beyonce. She loves Beyonce.
Yep.
Everything that's going on. A little snippet, what she wore to this.
They want to know what they're up to.
Exactly.
For sure.
And a lot of people like that. But for me, I don't really indulge in that kind of stuff. It's not necessarily what interests me. So I don't know how the music industry is doing.
Okay, yeah. You know what's funny is that I think before this job, just like kind of similar to you, I didn't, again, I'm not one who really like cares, like, okay, like, you know, this is going to influence my life and it matters right now on a day-to-day for me to know like what so-and-so is up to. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't give that much energy to that sort of thing and pay too much attention. But obviously since working, I found like a fun in like just kind of knowing and like being up to date and stuff. And it being a job, I'm like, that's so fun. Like, sure, I would love to get to know what they're all up to for work and stuff like that. Music state. Do you mean like music industry like on that front or like the music itself?
I think the music itself. Like, do you think we are in, let's say the next 20 years, are we in store for like some of the best music ever? Because everyone's always so nostalgic. Like, oh, 90s music was great. 70s music was great.
This is the thing. I think that in the moment, people don't truly either appreciate or realize like how much maybe they like something until it's genuinely gone and past. Like you said, people love nostalgia. So like, what's something nostalgic to you right now? Like a singer.
Okay, one thing I will say, it could be nostalgia, but I feel like the bangers that dropped, like the early 2000s club songs, go so
like
hard, and it sucks because we weren't old enough to go to the club.
I know.
And the music coming out now, there's some great music coming out now, but like, I don't know, just from like 2005 to like 2011, there were so many great songs. I was like, I can't wait till I turn 18,
to
19, whatever, go to the club and, you know, and it's not the same. So that's what I'm nostalgic about, early 2000s.
I agree. We got like Mobamba, you know?
Exactly, which is like...
but it was kind of jokes at the same time. I agree. So like, but that's what I'm saying. Like in the moment when we were listening to those, I know we weren't old enough, but it's like, even I remember, like I loved those songs and then, you know, when they're overplayed on the radio, I got sick of them too. And then now when I listen back to them, I'm like, yeah, I would love, like, fuck. I wish we were in this like time where we were 18 and could party to this stuff. So I wonder if that's gonna kind of always be just like how life is.
Probably.
But yeah, it's a really good question and it's interesting because it's so subjective. Like there's a lot of super talented artists. Like even when I'm just thinking now, I can't even believe, how old are you?
26.
26? Okay, I just turned 25 and to me like I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
COVID
like,
ruined it. Like I still feel 23.
Sped up time.
Yeah.
There's a phenomenon about that for sure. I still also feel, like 21, 23. Not that it's much different, but still, like 25 just feels like I should be way older feeling than I am. But yeah, like looking and like just seeing how young the people are that are in music. Yeah, like Tate McRae, Olivia Rodrigo, they're like 20, 21. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Like there are some pretty talented people here that are still so young and like so fresh into the industry. So like the people who are iconic now, they're still not even that old. Yeah, like a Beyonce and stuff like that. So I think we are in good hands. Like I'm liking the music right now, but also I could see the perspective of like traditional music, like back when. I feel like it's kind of, things were more meaningful, lyrics were more thought out, like there was more purpose to things versus like right now it's all about, no one has an attention span. Let me see how I can grab the hook of everyone. Which, okay, I personally I do prioritize a beat, and I love like a good sounding song, so I'm not mad about it. But I can see how just like, yeah, it's just to quickly like hook people. And sometimes I look at certain songs and just the lyrics, and I'm like, this is trash music. This is trash. But it's a banger at the same time. Like, what am I trying to think of? Like, I love Sexy Red and the Drake song, but like I listen to some of the lyrics, I'm like,
the lyrics aren't anything special.
It's not anything special. And when you look back and just see kind of the artistry and the lyricism and just like how well thought out it was, just like classic music, even just like, you know, like classic rock, like all that, I felt like was, like this is real music, so to speak. But
I feel like you're right though. No matter what, nostalgia plays such a big role, and I feel like it's not just music; it's literally everything. Like, I've graduated university. I have like my full-time job, and I miss university. And when I was in university, I missed high school. And when I was in high school, I missed elementary school. And it's the same thing.
We gotta just enjoy the moment.
Exactly.
I've been struggling with that. Like, I wanted to make that a New Year's resolution this year because I'm just like, I keep worrying about like how old I'm turning now. Like, oh my God, like time's ticking. Why am I not like, no.
Yeah,
you
gotta
need
live
to
in the
just
moment.
enjoy. But it's so true. When you're in university, you're nostalgic about high school. I'm still nostalgic about high school, but whatever.
even I'm a big gamer, and like I think about the video games I play now, and I'm like, man, these games, they don't have shit on the games I was playing when I was like 12. But it's like, are they really not as good as the games I was playing when I was 12?
They might be better, but your perception's skewed because the nostalgia factor comes in.
It's just when I was 12, I was playing 12 hours a day, so I was good at these games. And now it's like 12-year-old Jesse would smoke 26-year-old Jesse in video games because I had all the time in the world.
For sure.
It's
even
it's
movies.
very different.
Like, think about how, like, I don't know, the direction of everything going to like AR and VR. Like, will a movie theater always be a thing?
Yeah. I feel like movies actually are getting worse. And I'll say because, and like I've talked with my dad about this, because my dad, I have to like, he'll come to the movies maybe once every 5 years.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if it's not based on a true story and is not like critically acclaimed, he is not going to watch it. But I feel like almost every good idea has been done.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like you said, you're kind of forced to just.
Now, not entirely, because, for example, shout out your crush, Timothée Chalamet. I thought Dune 2 was fantastic, phenomenal movie. And there's still good movies that come out, but it's just not as consistently as it feels like they used to back in the day.
I agree. I feel like at a certain point there was like a lot of like, I don't know, blockbuster films that were just like in this sort of time span, and now it's like, okay, this one was okay. It wasn't anything special.
Yeah.
Like,
are you more of a movie girl or a TV girl? Like like
TV shows.
Like TV shows. I feel like no one watches shows on TV.
Yeah, I love movies, but I think I haven't been tapped into them lately. Kind of if they tie into work, but like I do love a good movie. I am definitely more of a shows person, I think.
What's your show?
Like, I like Euphoria. I like White Lotus. I like what's been on. I've been watching The Bachelor.
I used to watch The Bachelor a lot in university.
Yeah.
With my roommate, we'd watch and we'd like pick from the beginning of the season who we thought was going to win. We bet money.
Yeah.
I feel like you have a pretty good idea early on of who's going to make it far.
Did you watch it this season?
I have not. The only thing I watch like consistently now, Monica and I, like whenever it's out, we watch Drag Race.
Okay, yeah.
I watch Drag Race all the time. And it's funny because I was saying like how I don't care about what dresses celebrities wear, like what Tate McRae wore, but we're watching the queens walk down the runway. I'm like, that looks like shit.
You're like, no. Yeah. You start becoming a fashion critic.
Yeah.
No, I love it. Yeah. I think that also TV shows, certain reality shows like Love is Blind and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah?
Sometimes it depends. Like I try to watch them sometimes and I just can't.
It depends. Love is Blind, there's good seasons and bad seasons.
I
like
agree.
this most recent one, I don't know if you saw it, it was a very entertaining season.
Yeah,
lots of drama, lots of stuff like that. But aside from that, like I'm one of those guys, like I have a show on at night to go to bed.
Yeah.
But it's like the same 3 shows. It's like The Office, Friends.
I love Friends. I love Friends.
I recently, for the first time, watched Modern Family, and it is such a good show.
I've seen episodes. The humor's funny.
It is hilarious. I was a little apprehensive at first. I'm like, I feel like it's
got
not
a little bit of Office vibe.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, exactly. They have like kind of, what are they called? Like confessionals or like, you know?
Like confessionals.
I like that, yeah. I mean, Love is Blind too has confessionals.
Yeah, facts.
Every good show nowadays
every good
does.
show's got to have a confessional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did have one more question about your job. I mean, I probably have a couple more questions.
Yeah, no. Go ahead.
Has there been like an oh shit, this is my life moment for you? Like, this is what I do. Like, I get to interview celebrities. I get to, millions of people get to see me, that kind of stuff. Has that ever hit or sunken in at all?
Yeah, I think when it's like the day-to-day stuff, you kind of get swamped into it and you don't really realize. I think it's when we do kind of more of our bigger productions. Like, we have like the intimate and interactive series, so those are like pretty big. That's like the hour-long ones. That was the one I did with Niall Horan and Tate McRae. So like when it's those ones, like we've had like a mini audience in the studio, I'm like, oh shit, like, people, I know that this is going to be a little bit edited and cut up, but people are still watching me like here in person. And it's like all this planning, like literally from top to bottom, you like write all your questions. Like, it's not like we have a writer or something like that. You're doing all the production, coming up with all the bits, all the props. We run out, we're like going to the printing house, printing stuff, like making props, this and that. And I'm like, it's a very fun like thing that I never thought I'd be able to do. And just the fact that, like, oh, I'm going to be chatting casually with an hour with this person. I think moments before it's like, oh fuck, I'm nervous, but this is crazy. Even just the red carpet stuff, like, it's so crazy how much money they put into activations and stuff like that. Like, I just never knew that world. Like, it's like mind-boggling. Like the Barbie event, there was like the carpet and then the activation. It was like the coolest thing I've ever been to. Each room was just so pink and everything to the T, like the snacks, this, that, the pictures, the desserts, the drinks. I'm like, what?
It must have been a pink carpet, right?
Yeah.
It was a pink carpet, yeah.
But just like everything about the activation afterwards too, I'm like, this is insane.
Yeah, they have money. They got money.
It is. I can see why people, like, I don't know.
Do you stress out at all when it comes to like a red carpet event or a pink carpet event event for Barbie, in terms of like, oh, like what are you gonna wear, or like that kind of
Yeah, absolutely. I'm like, again, not that I'm the star of the show or anything. It's definitely all about the celebrities, but yeah, for something like the Barbie one, I'm like, okay, I guess I gotta go to the mall and pick out an outfit, but like, I don't have a stylist, I have to style myself, but I gotta make sure I'm like equipped to do so. Like, I don't know, just like, I feel like as a girl, it's a little bit pressure, like, okay, my hair, my makeup, my this, my outfit, like, does this look good together? Okay, even though it's only for a brief day and like, you're probably gonna wear it maybe once if it's
but
like,
still, you're gonna be in front of a lot of people.
Exactly. So yeah, I think definitely that part gets a little bit stressful, but it's fun too, because it's like, okay, when else am I gonna get to wear and have to pick out an outfit to go to a pink carpet? Probably not many more times. If not, this will be the only time. So like, I'm gonna go have fun and pick out my Barbie outfit and pretend like I'm a Barbie and just dress myself up. And I don't care how much it costs.
I like that. I like that. Do you ever get recognized on walking down the streets of Queen Street?
It's happened a couple times. I wouldn't say, I don't think I'm at that level yet right now. That's like, it's super frequent, but it's happened here and there. And especially I feel like when we go to concerts or even as a group together, or if it's me and another coworker, we go in pairs to concerts and stuff like that. Or if we're ever just like as a group at a festival, I think we get noticed quicker as a group. But sometimes it's happened, and I'm like, even just the other day, I went to the Olivia Rodrigo concert, and I'm like setting up my mic, waiting for my coworker to show up, and someone came up, and he was like, "Oh, like, are you from Much?" I'm like, I did have it on my jacket, and I'm like, okay, you probably just saw that. But he's like, "Oh, I watch your stuff." I'm like, "Do you want to do an interview? Because we're doing streeters." He's like, "Yeah, for sure." So like, I think when we go to those types of environments, it's more likely, and it's kind of fun because we just get to talk to the people and let them be in our videos and stuff like that.
Yeah. I promise you get recognized more than you think. It's just how many people actually come up to you and say something.
It?
Because I
want to know your side.
It is, I love when people come up to me and say hello and, oh, like, I love your videos, that kind of stuff. Love that stuff.
Yeah.
What I hate is when people recognize me and do not say anything, because then it's just someone staring at me. And it makes me feel very uncomfortable. And it's like,
they know who you are, but you're like, okay.
And I can't be the one to go
like, hey,
and say, yeah, I am that person that you think I am. That's so douchey. I can't do that. And like, even like, I know like people want a picture, and I don't even want to be the one to say, do you want to take a picture? Because even that feels kind of like awkward. But
I totally understand where you're coming from.
It's the word. And I've had like,
so you just got to take the stairs. You're kind of like,
yeah, you kind of have to. But I've had people like it's like they think that I'm blind and deaf. Like I can't see or hear what they're doing. Like I've had people who are like,
That's
like,
him.
As
That's
far as
Uncle
you are,
Yusuf.
literally, as far as you are away from me, I've had people standing there with their phones and they're
Trying to
on
sneak up to-
TikTok watching my videos and they're like, "Do you think that's him?" Like, and it's
Wait,
like
no,
I can
that's
hear
so
them.
awkward.
Yeah, and I can't say like
You're standing
that's
there
me.
like I literally hear myself and I want to fucking not listen to that.
Yeah,
I hate
exactly.
listening back to my voice. I don't know about you.
100%. I honestly, I
I feel
found
my skin crawls.
Yeah.
I'm like, stop.
I've found listening, like we just started the podcast. This is the 3rd episode, and I've been listening back to all of them.
Yeah.
I don't find it as bad as listening to my TikToks. But the worst is like my mom will show my TikToks to like family when I'm
Yes.
around. That is what I'm like.
I think that's the worst.
Oh, I cringe so much.
I think you get used to, like, especially you when you have to edit your own stuff and like you're watching and you're doing stuff and interviews and podcasts and whatnot. Like you get used to that. But yeah, as soon as somebody like off guard catches or like someone, your family's trying to, or sometimes my boyfriend will do that in front of his, I'm like, please literally turn that off. I'm so embarrassed right now. Even though it's not something embarrassing, I'm just
Yeah.
like, I can't listen to that.
Do you get like, do you think to yourself like, oh, I sound like that?
Sometimes.
I get that all the
Hell
time.
yeah. I'm like, oh.
Like, oh, I've always been told
Like,
I
that's
sound
not
nasally,
annoying?
and I'm like, oh, I hear it. But then I have people tell me, oh,
No.
you have a great voice. I'm like, oh,
No, you
thank
do. I don't think you sound nasally at all.
Thank you. Thank you. My EMT? Yeah, my ear, mouth, and
ENT.
ears, nose, and
Ears,
throat specialist
yes.
would say otherwise. But
Or is it?
But thank you very
Mouth
much.
and- yeah.
I think it's ears, nose, throat.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is why we're not in med school. That's
Exactly.
why we're content creators. Do people ever ask you, okay, like, what's technically, like, people ask me all the time, they're like, so what is your, like, job title? I'm like, content creator.
all the time.
Content creator.
All the time. Yeah. Personally, I hate using the word influencer.
Oh,
I do
I have not used that once.
Yeah, like, and it's.
I don't even
yeah.
consider myself one.
Me either, because I'm like, I don't really think I'm influencing. I think I make people laugh, but like, I don't think I influence people. But yeah, I say content creator, especially since like my TikTok and my Instagram is my main source of income.
Yes.
Yes, I do a couple things on the side, and like I said, I've worked with TSN in the past and Sportsnet in like part-time capacities. But yeah, I just say I'm a content creator, but a lot of people don't know what a lot of the old like my people my parents' age don't know what that means, and they're like, so how do you get paid and that kind of stuff.
You're like,
that's the question I get the most, which I understand because people are like, so does TikTok pay you?
I have that question.
Yeah. So okay, so my main source of income, TikTok does not pay me a cent.
Right.
Instagram does not pay me a cent.
Which is crazy because you get so many views on there.
Thank you. I try. But how I get paid right now is just because I have a large following on TikTok and Instagram. I have brands reach out who want me to make sponsored posts for whatever the case may be.
The brand deals are everything.
For whatever the food product is, or the I don't know, like most recently, Liquid IV sent me something. I might be working with them in the future.
Let's
or like
go.
Philips razors.
Yeah.
But yeah, they pay me to make a video for them, and that's how I get paid. So it's very all over the place. It's like I can get paid 5 times in a month, and then I can not get paid for 3 months. So that's
because you don't know when they're gonna come.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a bit. It's a bit more stressful, but when I do get paid, it usually pays well.
Yes.
So it's been very good. But yeah,
there's a lot of money in those, man. The brand deals too.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I asked. Like, yeah, obviously you do the brand deals, but you never know. Because I'm like, people I don't have like that many followers on like IG and TikTok, so I don't know like if they do pay. But you answer the question.
Well, it's different. TikTok in the States has the creator fund where you do get paid, but even from that, I've heard that they get paid like pennies. Like they don't make a lot of money, even if they get millions of views.
Just nuts.
I did want to ask you though about TikTok because I feel like, both of us were in our 3rd year of sport media when COVID hit. And then there was like no work, no school, no really anything. And both of us started posting on TikTok.
Yes.
And you had a video that went mega viral. And if you guys haven't seen it before, I'm sure you've heard the sound that's like, I'm not going to do it. I was just thinking about it. I'm not going to do it. And you
did it.
You did a video that cutting your hair, and it got millions and millions of views. I'm curious, what did that feel like?
Oh my God. I was like, COVID, you're like in your house, like every day's the same. You're like so bored. And when TikTok came out, I just like, do you ever like hear those few like sounds that were popular on TikTok and it just like feels like a different time? I'm like, holy
2020,
shit.
yeah, like COVID lockdown sounds, 100%.
Like Doja Cat Say So and like all these other ones, the random ones. But that sound was part of one of them. I was so bored all day and just like, I was like, I want a video to go viral. I just made a few a day obviously had nothing else to do, just kept doing them. And that one was kind of dumb. I did not even think anything of it. And then I remember all of a sudden watching the views climb like never before. And I was like, oh my God, like, how does this work? Like, I'm just looking and I'm seeing the numbers go up like 10K, 15K, whatever. And then I was like, damn, this is so much. I woke up the next day, it's like already booming. So for me, I got super excited. And I think that motivated me to make more videos. Funny enough, I just feel like ever since I kind of started in the workforce, I haven't been doing as many videos.
Tough.
I kind of fell off, and I've been trying to do more, and I'm like, I want to get back into making my own TikToks. It's sometimes such a battle between like the boundaries of like your phone, man.
Yeah.
It's so hard, especially when you're on the screen 8 hours a day on the computer. Like, I literally have 3 devices at once. Like, I have my laptop that I'm like editing on, I have my personal phone, and I have my work phone. Like,
Yeah.
I'm literally staring at 3 screens for 8 hours. I'm like juggling them all. So by the end of the day, do I want to go back to reality? Yeah. Like, I want to get off the screen. Like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of done, and it's probably not healthy to be on it that long.
No, 100%.
Not probably. It definitely is not healthy. And I'm just like, for my own sake and mental health, like, I don't want to be on it like a zombie all day. But at the same time, I want to make more videos for myself.
Yeah.
But
I think the key is like,
it's such a fine line balance.
you have to make content when it's like, when it doesn't feel like a job.
Yes.
And it's like, after a full day's work, I feel like almost no matter what, it feels like a job,
Yes.
unless you have a really good idea or you're really excited to do something.
Exactly.
And I'm with you. We're in the same boat. Like, I hate looking at my screen time every single. It's just like, I'm like, how did I spend 60% of the day looking at a device? Like, it's so.
I know.
It's scary and it's addicting. So I was gonna ask,
It's
when
so
that video started
addicting.
blowing up.
Oh, I was addicted
like-
to staring at the view count. I was
Yeah.
like, holy shit.
Like, I remember, like, one of my videos, I would say, got to that level of like Megaviral, and I remember in that moment, just like every 10 seconds, like, oh, another 10,000 views, another 10,000, and it's like just this dopamine hit.
I was just gonna say the dopamine.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally a drug addiction.
Literally.
Like, for real.
Yeah,
I'm sure they compare it to cocaine. So like, that's
yeah.
that's,
I haven't tried
can't
it,
be
but
healthy.
I'm sure it's very
Neither.
similar.
I haven't either, but they compare, the rush of dopamine similar to stuff like that. So that's pretty scary when you think about it. But yeah. And then after that, I was just like more addicted to TikTok because I was like, I want to make more videos. I want to do this again. I want it to blow up and whatever. So yeah, up until then, I was making videos consistently. And then after I started working. But honestly, you're right. Like, when it doesn't feel like a job, it's good. But then after a full days of work, when I'm like, well, I've made multiple TikToks today already. Yeah, it was for work. But
Still.
like, it feels like I already did all that. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, like, when you started and you blew up and then you started work, like, when did you do TSN, Sportsnet? Like, what was your
So-
timeline there?
So yeah, so as soon as COVID started, like, I think the first video I ever posted on TikTok was March 1st, 2020. So this is like 2 weeks
Like,
before
prime.
COVID hit.
Yeah.
Then I kept rolling with it. Fourth year, was it second semester when we needed an internship?
Yes.
That is when I worked at TSN for a few months. I did an internship.
Did you like it?
I really enjoyed it. It sucked because it was still like peak COVID, so I never got to go into the
full
TSN studio,
experience.
the one in Scarborough.
Yeah.
And this is back when I was living in Ajax, so it wasn't that far.
Fuck.
So I really wanted to, and I
COVID
never got
robbed
the
us
opportunity.
of stuff like that for sure.
Yeah. And then I think in November, I want to say November of 2022, Sportsnet reached out to me and I started making TikToks for them. And I kind of got into the same thing. Like, I was like, oh, like, now I'm making TikToks for them.
Yeah.
So I didn't want
The
to make
same
as
thing
many
you got
TikToks
reached
for
out to?
myself. Yeah.
Were you excited? Were you like,
Yeah, I was super excited. I was like, oh, like, I mean, everyone knows like the two biggest sports entities in Canada are TSN and
And you
Sportsnet. And
work
I got
for
the
both?
opportunity to work for both of them. And I still would work for either of them.
Good experience then?
Great experience for both. But yeah, and then I worked for Sportsnet for about 8 months, I want to say.
Okay.
And then since like June of 2023, I've just been doing my own thing. So it's been
Okay.
almost a year now. But yeah, I loved it.
how does it feel like just like, yeah, being on your own, doing your own thing?
It's scary because
Yeah.
it's like, okay, first it's cool because it's like, it is my schedule. I do what I
Yes.
want. Like, for example, this weekend I'm going to Philadelphia to go watch WrestleMania
Oh, good.
because I can.
Let's go because I can.
You know what I mean? And then like next month
That's your
I'm going
quote of the year.
next month I'm going to Japan for 2 weeks because
Because
I
I
can,
can.
because I've wanted to for a long time.
That's amazing.
But it's like, there is no one to hold me accountable.
Which
so I need to
you
hold
can get
myself
out of hand,
accountable.
right.
Exactly. It's like, oh, like I don't need to post a video this week. Like,
Yeah.
is it really that
I don't
bad?
have a quota. No one's like over my shoulder making sure I hit this deadline or
Exactly.
these markers. But
So that's the scary part about it. And like I said before,
it's a good lesson though, because then you learn to hold yourself accountable.
yeah. And like I said, I don't get paid weekly, bi-weekly.
right.
I get sometimes it's like I said, 5 times in a month
not a
and
stable
not for
thing.
3 months. So that's the scary part working for yourself. But overall, like to me, the pros outweigh the cons heavily.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. It's like I would still love to do what I do now and have another job and
Yeah.
still like I said, TSN, Sportsnet, like
Yeah. Look
doing
on the
something
side.
else. If it's still like kind of in the same realm, I want to stay like, making content. I really
Yep.
do enjoy doing that, which is why I started this podcast. It's just
Yep.
like I like talking to people. It's a good time.
This is the perfect name, by the way. I wanted to tell you that.
Thank
That's
you.
That's perfect for a
Thank you.
podcast.
I was apprehensive at first, but so many people, I just spit a bunch.
No worries.
So many people said, so many people were like, yeah, you should do listen. And I'm like, like,
It's such a perfect time.
and I'm like, yeah, it is. I
Listen,
put
listen.
a poll on Instagram and so many people were like, listen. I'm like, okay,
For a
let's do it.
podcast, I don't know,
Yeah,
on the
listen.
money. On the fucking money.
Exactly. I wanted to ask, like, what do you remember most about those like COVID times?
It all feels like a blur now.
Yeah.
TikTok is a big one, honestly.
Yeah.
TikTok. I remember just like, the early days of TikTok. I remember going on a lot of walks because I didn't have anything else to do.
Mental health walks.
Mental health walks, hot girl walks.
I still go on those now.
Same. They're beautiful. Yeah, I also just remember like how odd it. Okay, I remember. You took improv at all?
I did. Yeah.
Did you take it during COVID?
No. Wait, what?
Okay, so
Like during university?
Yeah.
No. I took it
So-
before COVID, luckily.
So I took it in the semester that COVID hit. So like we were doing it in person, and then COVID hit. Whatever. We're online. It was the most awkward experience ever, bro. They put you out into breakout rooms, and it had to be like you and one other person doing like improv games and like acting scenes, and I'm like,
That's so
it's so
cringy.
awkward.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I remember.
Mm.
Yeah. What do you remember about COVID?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like TikTok's the big one. I feel like it's bad because it is where my TikTok addiction began.
Yes.
As a consumer.
Yes.
And I want to ask you that, like, do you still consider yourself kind of, maybe not addicted, maybe you are addicted to TikTok right now as a consumer? Because it is very hard for me not to, because for me, it's like, I can't set like a 1 hour lock on my phone, like,
Doesn't
because it's
work.
like, one, it doesn't
You
work.
can dismiss it. Like,
Exactly.
Like, what the hell?
And two, it's like, well, I was responding to comments. I was making videos on TikTok. You know what I mean? So it's
So
like,
you make excuses.
that wasn't me consuming it for an hour.
Yes.
That was me creating for an hour. That's work.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult for me to do that.
Yeah, I don't want to say I'm addicted to it, but I probably am. Even just like like I said, I'm done work and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to make videos right now because I've been doing that all day. But I'm about to go to bed and sit on it for an hour, and I don't even realize where the time goes. It literally steals your time.
Yeah.
Like
My worst is waking up before, like, wake up, grab my
Right.
phone, scroll.
Right. I've tried to stop that, even just in general. Like, I try hard not to be on my phone. I've stopped with, like, doing, like, app, like, scrolling. Just because, like, when I wake up, I'm like, okay, like, let me get up. I still do look at my messages first thing in the morning and scroll through that. I try not to on the apps because, again, I know the rest of the day I'm going to be on that shit. But, yeah, I think TikTok is such an you get so easily sucked in. And an hour is nothing. It feels like I scroll through 5 videos. I
Literally.
look, midnight. Okay, I'll look through a couple more. 2 o'clock. Fuck, I better put this down now. Like, it's brutal.
Yeah. It's, I don't know. It could get banned. Who knows? Maybe,
know.
like,
that
it's
get-
actually a good thing. Who knows?
That got banned though. That like, how would that affect you?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I've had a lot of people ask me that. They're like, so are you gonna have to get a real job if
Yeah.
TikTok gets shut down?
It is a real job. No, I'm kidding.
I think if I was asked the same question a year ago, I would be very worried.
Yeah.
Because a year ago, I didn't have the Instagram following that I do now. So
Yes.
like beginning of 2023, out of nowhere, my Instagram blew up.
Okay, how did you grow it? Because Instagram's one of the hardest things to tap into, and I can attest to that because of like how hard it took for us to pop off even on our Much account, and we're posting hourly every day.
I was looking at it today and I'm like, Jesus, I like scrolled like down like 10, 15, 20 posts and I looked at it, I'm like, this was posted a day ago? They posted all this content within the last 24 hours?
Trust me. But like for the longest time we were fighting the algorithm, and it was really hard. Like we stayed stagnant for a while, but all of a sudden it just like boomed. And I'm like, well, yeah, we're posting every hour of the day, but like how did you grow your Insta?
It was the same thing. So for almost all of 2022, I was reposting all my stuff from TikTok to Instagram, and it was a grind. It was like...
Maybe because Reels, too, was popping off.
For sure. And it took me about a year, the first year, to get to like 10,000 followers. And then...
That's still a lot. Like
it was good. It was good. But then like a year to get 10,000, and then in the span of like 3 months, I went from 10,000 to like 200,000.
Wow.
It just... And nothing... And it's crazy because... So this was around...
Just consistency, man.
Literally. It was Christmas 2022. And the end of the year, I always take like a 2-week break where I just delete all my social media.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need a social media break. As a consumer and a creator, I don't do anything. I'm just like, I go rogue.
That
like
must
I don't have
feel
my
nice.
phone. It feels fantastic. But 3 days before I was about to take this break, my Instagram started popping off. I went from like 10,000 to like 15,000. Yeah, so I was like, man, like
it'd be silly to leave.
I was like, do I take this break or do I ride the momentum? I took the break.
Honestly, good for you.
I was like, you know what? I don't care. I told myself I want this break for mental health.
Good.
I need to take this break for mental health. And
you have good boundaries and will. Like, that's good for you.
And I didn't post for 2 weeks. And I went from when I deleted all my apps to re-downloading, I went from like 15,000 to like 50,000.
Wow.
I had not posted a single video. It was just old videos that for whatever reason started to gain traction.
Off.
And then, just from 2023, like beginning of 2023 till end, I went from like I said, like 25 to 30 when I first started like popping off to like 300,000, 400,000, whatever it was. And it was a grind, but it's so good because now I feel confident. Like if TikTok were to get taken down, it would be a huge hit, 100%. I love TikTok, and it is where I make, I'd say I still make probably a little bit more money from TikTok than I do on Instagram, but I wouldn't go under because I have Instagram. Instagram's not going anywhere. And honestly, I love TikTok. I love Instagram more.
Yeah. Insta's the OG though, too. Yeah. Got the pictures and the videos. Honestly, I think that it's so important to have like multiple platforms just so that you can't always just rely on one. YouTube is a big one.
Yeah.
YouTube makes...
I've been grinding on... I'm at like 6,000 subscribers.
Good.
I'm grinding.
No, keep going. Because YouTube is one of the places where it's been just like the longest and most steady and like just stable like app, not even app, but like website, whatever.
Yeah.
Like YouTube's where the money's at, for real.
Absolutely. Before I let you go, we have a couple minutes. I know you just went to Vegas. I just came back from Vegas. I wanted to hear how it was.
Fuck, phenomenal.
Yeah?
I was just telling you earlier, but like I just didn't expect to love it as much as I did. I expected it to be like, I don't know, just a little bit more sketchy than it was. Everything was so beautiful. I loved the Strip, even just going out, the nightlife. Like I like to go out and do all these adventurous things, but I'm not some crazy partier. So I was like, I know I'll have fun, but like, you know, I don't care that much about the clubbing scene and the gambling, whatever. It exceeded my expectations.
Did you go to any shows?
In a heartbeat. I went to one show called Absinthe.
Oh, I heard. So it's so crazy you say that because the last podcast, or I guess the podcast right before this, which is Cabby, he said on the podcast, I was asking him, this is before I went to Vegas. It's like, where do I need to go? He's like, you got to see a show and you got to see Absinthe. I didn't end up seeing it, but he said that was the show to see.
No way.
It was that good, eh?
It was so good. So like my friends and I, there are so many shows you can watch from. Cirque is obviously classic.
Yeah, that's where I went, Cirque du Soleil.
How was it?
Fantastic.
Which one did you see?
Mystère.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like kind of like traditional like trapeze artists and like strongmen. It was
That's an
iconic
show to go see in Vegas for sure, hands down. But like I went with a big group of people, so like we kind of had to do a vote and be like, okay, what do we want to see? Comedy, Cirque, whatever. We found this one online, had really good reviews. It was kind of a mix. It was very like raunchy adult comedy, like inappropriate, but then they had Cirque mixed into it and like stand up. Like it was really good. I suggest,
Vegas.
but I would go back in a heartbeat. Would you?
Oh, absolutely. My only knock, honestly, is that it's crazy expensive.
Yeah.
It's expensive as hell.
The food? Did you eat any pricey food?
Yeah, we went to Hell's Kitchen because it was actually. Oh, you went to Hell's Kitchen? Yeah, it was during our anniversary.
Oh,
and
cute.
We watch Hell's Kitchen together all the time. So like, we have to go. So I had to get the beef Wellington and all that stuff.
We got it.
It was great. It was expensive though, like really expensive.
It was expensive. We had the sticky toffee dessert.
It was one of the best desserts I've ever had in my life. It was so good.
Nah, I'm out. Like, I want to go eat that right now.
Did you go to In-N-Out?
I didn't. I've had In-N-Out before.
Okay, I haven't. So it was,
did you like it?
I was underwhelmed.
Yeah.
I thought it was good, but I'm like, okay, like this is getting way too overhyped.
Yeah. Have you had Shake Shack before?
I have.
A lot of people like that better. I don't know about you.
I think Shake Shack.
Shake Shack.
Yeah. I also we went to Raising Cane's. I love Raising Cane's.
Oh,
if you haven't had it, you should try Raising Cane's.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Love it. We went to Nobu Carbone.
Oh yeah. Where is that? That's in one of the hotels, right? Or where did you guys
Carbone?
stay?
We stayed at the Mirage.
Oh, okay.
It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I can't remember. They were in hotels, yeah. I just can't remember which ones.
Yeah. I heard the Wynn is where we stayed, and I heard like a lot of the nicest restaurants on the strip were in the Wynn, and we didn't even get to really go to any of them.
Yeah.
It was very expensive.
Yeah.
Luckily, I was telling you earlier, the trip, like the flight and the stay was free, so
Yeah.
I felt a little bit more chill, spending money, gambling, that kind of stuff.
Totally.
It was a good time. And I made a lot of money gambling, so.
Yeah. Good for you. How much did you make?
I mean,
if that's an appropriate question to ask, I'm like, how much did you make?
I made like $2,000 US.
What? Because I won $100 and felt so proud.
That's huge. Yeah. So
$2,000 off
I
what?
hit on roulette. So my number is 9. It's my dad's number, the number he wore playing like sports as a kid. It's the number I wore playing sports as a kid. And for those of you that don't know, at Vegas, if you're actually playing, drinks are free.
Yep.
Like they come around and they give you drinks for free. I wish Toronto was like that. It's not the case. But so we were playing, and honestly, we're just playing to get free drinks. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put some money on 9. I put $50 on 9, and it hit for $1,800. And then I was going crazy. It was awesome.
Wait, you did a $50 bet and won $1,800?
Yeah, because on roulette there's like 37, 38 numbers. So every number is like is 36 times your bet. So 50 times 36, 1,800.
Okay, so I also won on roulette. I hit it on roulette. Same thing. I literally chose the specific number, but it was like a $3 bet, so that's why I was like,
that's still money.
Yeah, it's still money.
That's still money.
Congrats.
Thank you, Brace. That's how I can get all this going.
Yeah. Vegas funded this.
Exactly, absolutely. I gotta go back. It's a business trip now.
Absolutely. At this point, let's go.
But Georgia, I want to say thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much
is there anything you want to shout out? I mean, check her out on MuchMusic.
Thanks, guys. Check out MuchMusic. Shout out MuchMusic. Love you guys. And yeah, I'm just really happy to be here. This was so fun. It was nice to catch up.
Yeah, we got to do it again. I mean, we got to get like the whole sport media.
I wanted to ask you more questions.
Yeah, we'll do it again.
For sure.
We got to get the whole sport media crew together.
I'm down.
COVID's done. We gotta.
So many people in our year, I feel like, are doing so well.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good to see.
Joey's popping.
I'm gonna have him on soon. I'm going to see him in like 2 months.
Good.
Yeah.
Bello Brini with the paninis.
Yeah. Oh, he makes good paninis.
He does.
Anyways, that's for another episode.
So, I'm dragging it up.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into the Listen podcast. I mean, if you're listening, you already know you can get it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, wherever you get your podcasts. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Peace.